One, something extraordinary is unfolding behind the scenes. A federal officer has been assigned to locate you and deliver long-lost inheritance money, money that rightfully belongs to you. And the wildest part? They have no idea that what they're about to hand over will completely transform your life. But here's where it takes a shocking turn. Someone has been stealing from you for years. They lived in your home, spent your money, and posed as family while hiding the truth in plain sight. Their deception ran so deep it became their reality. But they got careless. So reckless, in fact, that they triggered an investigation that would change everything. The FBI has been quietly building a case around your stolen inheritance, and in the process, they've uncovered hidden truths about your family background that will leave you stunned. We're not just talking about a few assets. We're talking generational wealth. Multiple properties, investment accounts, long-term financial plans that were meant for you, growing steadily, even as you struggle to keep a roof over your head. The same person who stole it all is now facing the harsh reality of federal prison, while you are on the brink of stepping into a life you never imagined possible. Right now, as you read this, there are federal investigators who know your name. They've traced the paper trail, followed the fraud, and uncovered how much was taken from you. And when I tell you the scale of this fortune, you'll understand why this case became a federal priority. But what truly broke this case wide open was a single, critical mistake made by the thief, a misstep so bold it revealed everything. But before we get to that part, you need to understand what they were desperately trying to keep hidden. You were born into real wealth, chosen one. Not just comfortable living, but transformative wealth. Legacy-level resources meant to elevate not just you, but generations after you. Someone in your ancestral line built an empire and made sure you would one day inherit it. But along the way, a false guardian stepped in. They intercepted what was meant for you and lived like royalty off your inheritance, while you were left in survival mode.
其实我真的想做书是在20年前，我自己有点想
mode. The irony is poetic. They got greedy. And greed, no matter how well disguised, always leaves a trail. This imposter crafted an identity so convincing, they fooled even government agencies. They presented themselves as your legal guardian with forged birth certificates, fake custody papers, fraudulent social security records, everything needed to create a flawless illusion. But what they didn't anticipate was that your real family had planned for situations just like this. They hired elite legal teams who put powerful safeguards in place. Safeguards that made it impossible to access certain portions of your inheritance without airtight, verifiable documentation. The imposter couldn't produce what was needed. Trustees overseeing properties began asking questions they couldn't answer. Financial institutions demanded documents they didn't have. And slowly but surely, the mask began to crack. That's when the Fed stepped in. Because once someone tries to access millions using forged federal documents, it stops being simple theft. It becomes a federal offense. But just wait, because the part that truly blows this story wide open is still coming. There's something called the house party scheme, and it's where this entire story shifts from unbelievable to absolutely insane. You, chosen one, are the rightful owner of multiple high-value properties. And not just any properties. We're talking about real estate located in areas where market values have skyrocketed over the past decade. And your so-called guardian, well, let's just say they threw a party that ended up revealing far more than they ever intended. They had the audacity to plan a lavish housewarming bash in your home, celebrating the very inheritance they stole, without even inviting you. Yet the moment they stepped into those rooms, something felt off. Energy never lies. Chosen one. The universe will often use crisis to unveil hidden truths, and that's exactly what happened here. Living a lie for years, finally caught up with your imposter guardian in the form of a serious health crisis. Hospitals demand real names. Insurance needs authentic documents, and every visit leaves a paper trail investigators can trace. While they were too sick to juggle all their lies, the facade crumbled, and their network of accomplices began to panic. Because yes, there was a network. Greedy relatives convinced they deserved more than you, so-called friends hungry for a cut, even professionals who were supposed to protect your interests but chose profit instead. All of them helped themselves to your legacy. Now, with federal charges looming, mail fraud, wire fraud, identity theft, conspiracy, they're scrambling to cut deals, throwing each other under the bus so fast it's causing a traffic jam. One family member in particular spent years painting you as unstable to discredit any future investigation, but desperation is revealing their true colors. The FBI is leading the charge, forensic accountants tracing every stolen dollar, federal prosecutors reviewing mountains of evidence, and the crimes they've uncovered carry decades-long sentences. Quick pause, family. If this message resonates with your spirit and you'd like to support this sacred work, feel free to buy me a coffee. Your legitimate inheritance and your actual family history are exposed. The narrative will flip completely. Those who once dismissed you will want your attention. Those who overlooked you will realize they misjudged someone of extraordinary significance. And those who look down on you will be stunned by the truth of your status. Once the legal system formally acknowledges your rightful inheritance, everything shifts. Your name will be protected. Your assets will be documented. Your history will be backed by legal proof. No one will be able to gaslight you about who you are or where you come from. Your fake guardian and the accomplices who enabled them will face federal prison for a long list of crimes: theft, identity fraud, conspiracy, and forged documentation. These are not minor infractions. They come with mandatory sentencing. But beyond justice, what you gain is empowerment. You'll finally have the means to protect yourself going forward. Top-tier attorneys, skilled financial advisors, personal security if needed. You'll no longer be forced to make decisions based on survival or affordability. When that federal officer arrives with your inheritance documents, your reality transforms. Not just your bank account, but your sense of identity, your confidence, your voice in this world. You'll realize you were never the struggling version of yourself you had to become. You were always someone with deep generational wealth, someone destined to move through the world with options, not limits. This inheritance opens doors you didn't even know existed. You'll be free to choose a career based on your passion, not your paycheck. You'll be able to live where you want, not just where you can afford. And perhaps most meaningfully, you'll finally be in a position to give, to uplift others, without ever jeopardizing your own security. That's the power of real wealth. And from this moment forward, you'll never again have to check your bank account before saying yes to what your soul truly desires. You will never again juggle which bill to pay first, fret over losing your home or car, or wake up in a cold sweat about next month's rent. That kind of security changes everything. Your stress levels, your health, your relationships, your willingness to take bold risks, even your capacity to be generous. The chronic anxiety of financial scarcity will simply evaporate. In your case, the freedom most people only dream about truly will be purchased by the very inheritance that's rightfully yours. Now here's the timeline that will leave you speechless. This isn't a distant possibility dependent on perfect circumstances. The legal machinery is already grinding forward. Investigations are complete, evidence has been authenticated, indictments are being drafted. At this moment, law enforcement teams are coordinating your official contact. The federal officer assigned to your case knows your address, your routine, the best way to reach you. They waited to approach you until every piece of the puzzle, documents, asset lists, secured accounts, was perfectly in place. They refused to alert you until they could give you immediate, unfettered access to what belongs to you. Picture it. You're in the middle of an ordinary day when a firm knock echoes through your home. You open the door to see a federal officer presenting credentials in a thick folder. After verifying your identity, they utter life-altering words. I'm here to inform you of an inheritance that has been recovered on your behalf. In that instant, every limitation you once accepted evaporates. The officer details how they traced the fraud, identified everyone involved, and secured each asset. They reveal your authentic family history and place indisputable proof of your rightful ownership in your hands, along with immediate access to resources that wipe out every financial concern you've ever had. Those who stole from you won't escape with a slap on the wrist. Federal fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy carry hefty mandatory sentences. Your imposter guardian is staring down decades in prison, and any banks or professionals who enabled the scheme face severe regulatory penalties. On top of criminal convictions, you'll have grounds for civil action, compensation for lost opportunities, years of stress, and the life you were denied. Yet this windfall is more than money. It's a legacy. The wealth you inherit was built through generations of sacrifice and vision. Along with assets, you receive the responsibility to honor that lineage, to steward these resources wisely and extend the legacy forward. From this moment on, you'll navigate life not from a place of scarcity, but from a position of strength, purpose, and profound gratitude for the ancestors whose foresight made your freedom possible. Your ancestors cared enough about generations they would never live to see that they made decisions rooted not in short-term comfort, but in long-term legacy. They worked long hours, took fewer luxuries, saved more than was expected, and invested with wisdom far beyond their time. These were individuals who understood the power of sacrifice, not just as a duty, but as a gift. They didn't just accumulate wealth, they built a foundation, a vision, a future. And they did it all with the hope that someone down the line, someone with purpose, with clarity, with divine alignment, would inherit the fruits of their labor and carry it forward with intention. That person is you, chosen one. While your fake guardian saw your inheritance as a jackpot to plunder and burn through, your true family saw it as sacred, something to guard, nurture, and grow. They didn't just stash away money, they built systems, created trusts, secured investments, and layered protections designed to ensure that the wealth would endure. They trusted that one day the rightful heir would come into alignment with that blessing. They believed that even if they never met you, their efforts would one day change your life. And now, all of that love, foresight, and spiritual responsibility is arriving at your doorstep. This inheritance is not just about luxury or comfort, it's about access.
很多人不相信我说的任督二脉。
Doors are about to open into a world that operates by entirely different rules. You'll gain entrance to private banking circles where money grows faster because the opportunities are greater. You'll be welcomed into investment conversations most people don't even know exist. Pre-IPO placements, high-yield funds, real estate syndications in high-growth global cities. You'll be able to participate in markets where money isn't just managed, it multiplies. But the transformation goes far beyond wealth. You'll now have access to the best medical care available, world-class specialists, preventive treatments, wellness retreats, and alternative healing resources that most people can't even dream of affording. Your education options will expand. Elite institutions, personalized mentorship programs, and private coaching tailored to your growth. Legal representation will no longer be a luxury, but a baseline. Financial advisors will work to ensure your legacy outlives you. Time-saving services will free you from the stress of daily survival and allow you to focus on creation, contribution, and purpose. And with this elevation comes responsibility, the kind mind that empowers you to create ripples of positive change. You'll be able to fund scientific research that pushes humanity forward, support schools and educational projects that lift communities, invest in green technologies that protect the earth, and provide opportunities for those who need someone to believe in them. Your impact will extend beyond your own life. You'll shape the lives of others through the way you choose to steward this abundance. Even more heart-stirring is the truth that's about to come to light. You were never forgotten. Hidden behind the lies and manipulation of your fake guardian are real family members who have been searching for you. Wealthy relatives, tied to the same lineage that produced your inheritance, knew something was wrong. They knew about the trust, the properties, the assets, the legacy meant for you. And when you disappeared from their radar, they grew concerned. Some of them launched private investigations, desperate to find out what happened. But every time they tried to reach you, they were met with stone walls, false identities, misinformation, legal dead ends created by those who stole your place. These relatives knew your real parents. They remember the stories, the will, the planning meetings, the family hopes. They knew a child in the bloodline was meant to carry forward this torch, but that child vanished. That child was you. They couldn't see you, but they never stopped looking. And now, through divine timing and federal intervention, that broken connection is being restored. These aren't distant relatives with nothing in common. They're people of substance, of vision, of legacy, just like you. And they're going to be overwhelmed with joy when they finally see you standing in the light of your truth. You're not stepping into money. You're stepping into identity, into power, into healing, into purpose, into a legacy that never forgot your name, even when you didn't know it was yours to claim. Picture the day. You open the door and find a sharply dressed federal officer standing before you, credentials out, a thick leather portfolio clasped against one arm, and a knowing, almost reverent look in their eyes. In a single breath, they'll confirm your identity, then gently usher you to sit, because the weight of what they're about to hand over might literally make your knees buckle. In that portfolio lies an entire new map of your life. Notarized lineage documents tracing your bloodline back through powerful visionary ancestors. Certified deeds for income-producing buildings you never knew you owned. Audited statements of brokerage accounts teeming with decades of compounding returns. And sealed court orders freezing every illicit dollar funneled away by the imposter who pretended to love you. From the moment your signature meets that first page, the paradigm you've called reality shifts. Imagine discovering that, while you once clipped coupons to stretch a grocery budget, a family office in New York was quietly quadrupling your equity by timing global market cycles. Visualize the revelation that a boutique property management firm in Austin has been forwarding rent rolls, 6 figures annually, into an escrow vault with your name on it, stockpiling because no verified recipient ever stepped forward. Each document you initial unlocks reservoirs of capital, municipal bond ladders yielding tax-free income for life, renewable energy holdings spitting off quarterly dividend checks, an entire timber tract in Oregon sustainably managed, so its value grows alongside the forest it protects. And then there are the living, breathing connections, cousins who built technology startups now listed on NASDAQ, eager to offer you board seats, an aunt who oversaw the family charitable foundation, ready to co-direct grants aimed at eradicating childhood hunger, uncles who stewarded century-old vineyards in Northern California, reserving bottles of award-winning vintages with your initials embossed on the labels. You'll sit at their dinner tables where conversations revolve around impact investing, legacy architecture, and philanthropic roadmaps, not survival or scarcity. They'll pass around photo albums and archival letters, images of your parents drafting mission statements for the trust, journal entries describing their hopes that one day Our child or grandchild will ignite this abundance for good. With the documentation comes immediate liquidity, backdated monthly distributions, compounded interest, and missed dividend disbursements, all wired into a freshly opened private bank account. Overnight, your credit score rockets, not because credit bureaus change their minds, but because the balance sheet beneath your name now reads like that of a Fortune 500 CFO. The anxiety that once tightened in your chest at every unexpected expense simply dissolves. Medical bills become a matter of hiring the best doctor, not of pleading with insurance. Car troubles are met with a new vehicle if repairs aren't worth the hassle. Rent worries vanish as you realize you now own the roof over your head and perhaps half the street as well. Beyond personal comfort lies unprecedented influence. Wealth managers present customized impact portfolios, seed funding clean water startups in drought regions, underwriting scholarships for first-generation university students, fast-tracking research grants for rare disease cures. Attorneys outline strategic philanthropy vehicles, donor-advised funds, charitable remainder trusts, so your giving multiplies tax efficiently. Political advocacy firms discreetly inquire whether you'd like to back clean energy legislation in Congress or sponsor a think tank symposium on mental health policy. You quickly grasp that money, when wielded consciously, is less a trophy than a lever capable of lifting entire communities. Yet amid the exhilaration, justice continues grinding forward. Federal prosecutors finalize indictments, wire fraud counts, aggravated identity theft, conspiracy to obstruct interstate commerce, each carrying mandatory minimums that stack like bricks in a wall. Your imposter guardian appears in court in shackles, their fabricated narrative shredded by forensic accountants and handwriting experts. Banks that facilitated the laundering pay multi-million-dollar consent decrees, their CEOs issuing public apologies. Civil litigation proceeds in parallel. Punitive damage calculations include the emotional toll of lost years, the career opportunities foregone, the psychological distress of being gaslit and marginalized. Each settlement funnels additional resources into your trust structures, compounding the restitution into yet greater potential for good. Therapists, life coaches, and spiritual mentors now within easy reach help you process the whiplash of transition. From budgeting every rupee to commanding an 8-figure net worth. From questioning your value to standing at the nexus of a dynastic mission. You begin envisioning a life crafted intentionally.
成功的中老年人都是
Chosen one, something extraordinary is unfolding behind the scenes. A federal officer has been assigned to locate you and deliver long-lost inheritance money, money that rightfully belongs to you. And the wildest part? They have no idea that what they're about to hand over will completely transform your life. But here's where it takes a shocking turn. Someone has been stealing from you for years. They lived in your home, spent your money, and posed as family while hiding the truth in plain sight. Their deception ran so deep it became their reality. But they got careless. So reckless, in fact, that they triggered an investigation that would change everything. The FBI has been quietly building a case around your stolen inheritance, and in the process, they've uncovered hidden truths about your family background that will leave you stunned. We're not just talking about a few assets. We're talking generational wealth. Multiple properties, investment accounts, long-term financial plans that were meant for you, growing steadily, even as you struggle to keep a roof over your head. The same person who stole it all is now facing the harsh reality of federal prison, while you are on the brink of stepping into a life you never imagined possible. Right now, as you read this, there are federal investigators who know your name. They've traced the paper trail, followed the fraud, and uncovered how much was taken from you. And when I tell you the scale of this fortune, You'll understand why this case became a federal priority. But what truly broke this case wide open was a single, critical mistake made by the thief. A misstep so bold it revealed everything. But before we get to that part, you need to understand what they were desperately trying to keep hidden. You were born into real wealth, chosen one. Not just comfortable living, but transformative wealth. Legacy-level resources meant to elevate not just you, but generations after you. Someone in your ancestral line built an empire and made sure you would one day inherit it. But along the way, a false guardian stepped in. They intercepted what was meant for you and lived like royalty off your inheritance, while you were left in survival mode.
其实我真正想种树是在20年前，我自己有点想。
Mode. The irony is poetic. They got greedy. And greed, no matter how well disguised, always leaves a trail. This imposter crafted an identity so convincing, they fooled even government agencies. They presented themselves as your legal guardian with forged birth certificates, fake custody papers, fraudulent social security records. Everything needed to create a flawless illusion. But what they didn't anticipate was that your real family had planned for situations just like this. They hired elite legal teams who put powerful safeguards in place. Safeguards that made it impossible to access certain portions of your inheritance without airtight, verifiable documentation. The imposter couldn't produce what was needed. Trustees overseeing properties began asking